We are what? We are who? We are what? Vibrant. We are who? 50 plus. Hi, welcome to Gray Lives on the Rise. I am your host, Professor Jamila Franklin, and we are coming to you from Oyende Enterprises, being sponsored by Jamila Sense, which is our product line of aromatherapy products that helps heal the mind, body, and soul. And we are bringing to you Alamaj's rebirthing program, as well as Jamila Sense, and a host of wonderful programs that will help heal your body, heal your soul, and heal your mind. 50 plus people, we are here to stay. Gray Lives on the Rise. We are what? We are who? We are vibrant, and we are here to stay. Join us for our wonderful episodes. Thank you, and continue to look for our episodes weekly, being brought to you again from Oyende Enterprises and Jamila Sense. See you soon. Greetings, everyone. Welcome again to Gray Lives on the Rise. I am the host and creator and founder, Professor Jamila Franklin, and today we have the lovely Gail with us, and she's going to give a very, very interesting talk about her specialty, and we're going to invite you to become part of Gray Lives on the Rise. This is a podcast for people who are 50 plus, and we are here to tell you the background story. I was walking one day, walking, and then all of a sudden I had some downloads that come into my consciousness. And the downloads basically said, look, there's nothing that speaks to people who are 50 plus. Why don't you do something? You need to focus on it. I said, yeah, that's a good idea. Let me focus on it since I'm in that category. And then I thought of the title. What should the title be? Gray Lives Matter. And I said, no, that's overused. Then Gray Lives on the Rise came to me. And I said, oh, wow, that's perfect, because lives rhymes with rise. And it's not about your hair color. It's not about the length of your hair. Some people can have no hair at all. It's about your consciousness. So you have short hair, long hair, medium length hair, no hair, gray hair, black hair, braids, wigs, whatever. It doesn't really matter. It's your consciousness. So what I decided to do was raise the consciousness of people so that they can see that they do matter, and that we started relanguaging the words like old, we don't use, senior, we don't use, elderly, we don't use. We use words like seasoned, mature, vibrant, and wonderful, because that's who we are. That's who we are. That's who we are. So then after that, I said, okay, this intuitive nudge said, you need to do more than that, because I used to have my own blog talk radio show, and it did okay, but it didn't really reach a large number of people. And when I wasn't doing the podcast or the broadcast, people really didn't remember what the show was about. So I said, okay, let me lay the foundation, have the momentum out there in terms of people's consciousness, and till the ground so that people can be aware of what this movement is. And the movement is dealing with, like I said, raising consciousness, because people who are 50 plus are being ignored. If you would like to go for employment at this age and you put down your real age, chances are you would not be hired, because there's serious age discrimination here. And not only in this country, it's global. We've had people from Canada, from Australia, from Serbia, from other parts of the world, and they're experiencing the same thing. So I said, okay. And then the other part of the download said, you need to get the brand out. So we started with the online store, which has Gray Lives on the Rise merchandise that Gail has on too. She has on her shirt that she's showing you. And I have on my shirt. It comes in white, black, melon, and grape. And it's unisex, so men have bought the shirt as well. So then after that, the podcast came later, and I was able to get people for the podcast for half the year. So now we're on 2025 in terms of recruiting speakers to be on the podcast. So, having said that, and also my background is pretty extensive. I am a certified Reiki master, a certified metaphysician, a certified aromatherapist, an award-winning author, a college professor of psychology, and I have my own clinical practice, and I've had my practice for over 30 years. And I do energy work, and I involve quantum physics in my work. And I'm working on healing ancestral trauma. A lot of people have ancestral trauma. And sometimes the thoughts you're thinking are not even your own. So that's my information. So, and my company, Oyende Enterprises, which has Jamila Sense, is the one that's underwriting this program. And here's one of the products. Peace Be Still. It is amazing for stress, anxiety, depression, ADHD. Okay, you see it's clear. And it's an aromatherapy blend. You don't take it by mouth. You put it in the palms of your hands, rub it together, and then you just breathe in. Just breathe in. Breathe in. And then you rub it on your arms. And then what you do is just sit back in euphoria. It's so amazing. You feel completely relaxed. So to get in touch with me, if you're interested in being a podcast speaker, or if you would like some of my services or products, go to Oyende Enterprises, Oyinde Enterprises, enterprises.com. Again, it's oyendeenterprises.com. Now that I've done my infomercial, we get into the wonderful part of the program, which is to introduce my lovely guest. And this is Gail Meriel. It's an award-winning, I'm sorry?
Meriel.
Oh, Meriel. Gail Meriel is an award-winning global motivational speaker, international best-selling author, confidence coach, and project manager. She is the founder of Success Redefined and has an MBA degree in project management professional certification with over 25 years of experience working for Fortune 500 companies. She is a co-author of Inspiring Women Professionals Who Boss Up, okay, and Dream Big, Do Bigger, and she has been featured on NBC, CBS, and Fox, and had multiple media appearances, including ABC's In the Spotlight. She has taken her career to new heights by finding her voice and inspiring professionals from all over the world. And Gail helps to inspire and empower professionals gain and regain self-confidence so they can rediscover their authentic self and live the life they truly deserve. A distinguished and unique honor, Gail Hobbs is sharing the virtual stage with Justin Guarini. I've heard of him. Yeah, heard of him. Justin Guarini, American Idol, and Sherry Fitzpatrick with Sherry's Berries, and being endorsed as a motivational speaker by renowned celebrities, Kim Fields and Carrie Michelson. Okay, and so we are talking today about how to empower and reclaim your authentic self. So Gail, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. We're really, really happy to have you here. It's our honor. So
thank you for having me here.
You're so welcome. So tell me, what inspired you to get into the field of motivational speaking and helping people, women and men, I'm assuming, reclaim their authentic self and have confidence, particularly when they're 50 plus, because when you're in that age group, a lot of times you tend to sometimes you tend to take a back seat to people who are younger, because people might think that you're no longer relevant, which is not true, because most of the billionaires and millionaires are 50 plus and older. But that's the misconception and misperception that people have, that when you get to be 50, you're ready for the retirement home. And that is far from being the case, because most of the people, like I said, even the people running for political office are 50 plus. None of them, to my knowledge, or none of the ones that we really know, are younger than 50 plus. So what inspired you to really tap into that market and to really empower people to reclaim who they are or who they aspire to be?
Yes, yes. When I was a young child, I really struggled with self-confidence, and the way that I coped with it carried on into adulthood. I once thought of myself, and I was once proud of being an overachiever, and I never really stopped to celebrate my wins. We were always taught to be heads down, work hard, and you'll get to where you're going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with corporate titles, right? The
Mm-hmm.
higher you go, the more valuable you are. I was also a people pleaser. I was thinking about other people rather than myself. And
Mm-hmm.
I ended up, and I tried to be a perfectionist because I had those goals that I thought, okay, I'll be more valuable if I do these things for others. I
Yeah.
I had an aha moment in my life as an adult that forced me to reevaluate my life. I ended up in the emergency room from
Wow.
health problems because of high stress, high anxiety. And I had to take a step back. And I told myself,
Mm-hmm.
I need to reevaluate my life. Something had to change. And I had to take care of myself. So I
Yeah.
decided to take care of myself and put some more boundaries and really assess my life and say, okay, what's more important to me? What is my why? And I ended up rediscovering myself, redefining my success and how I saw myself as a success. And
Mm-hmm.
now I am living a more balanced and empowered life. And I went into this business to help others be able to redefine themselves, rediscover themselves, and know that they're important no matter what they are, and because of their authentic self. I'm
Mm-hmm.
also an empty nester of a young adult son who is an aviation pilot. And
Oh.
yeah, and part of that journey that I took was because of the titles that I carried and I hid behind.
Mm-hmm.
When we get to this age, you're always on the run. Again, we're taught as society to go to college, then get a great job, then get promoted, then get
Yeah.
married and have a family. And
Yeah.
throughout
Yeah.
all that, where is your identity? So
Right.
when I became an empty nester, that really helped me uncover who I truly was and and not who other people wanted me to be. And that's where I really try to bring that out to others, because others might be silently suffering right now and struggling with that because they had that path in their life. And now that they're in a new chapter, they don't feel valuable because they don't have the title or because they're.
Right. Right.
And for this audience, it's really important to still maintain and sustain that confidence to do whatever you want. And you have the
Right.
opportunity. And that's where
Yeah.
I'm really
Mhm.
optimistic, because that is something that people should be doing.
I think that's really good, because what you're doing, which is really, really wonderful, is you're telling people to give themselves permission to
Yes.
step outside of those traditional roles as a parent, or even
Mhm.
a grandparent, whatever. What is going to make you happy outside of the traditional roles? And a lot
Right.
of times, particularly with women, people tend to put their true desires on the back burner.
Yes.
They go to college and something, because I know I used to be an administrator at a very well-known medical school. I ran certain programs. I was in charge of certain programs. And some people were getting the medical degree, but their parents, they didn't even desire to be doctors. I know people who never practiced a day in their lives. They got the medical degree, they went into public health because that's what their parents desired for them. So their parents were living vicariously through the children,
Mhm.
and they never really got a chance to do what they truly aspire to do until later on. And I think now it's becoming more permissible for people to say, that was not me. I did that. But
Exactly.
I'm now stepping to the second phase of my life and I desire to be me. So someone like you, with your services are so important because you're giving people, you're coaching people, because some people would desire to be their authentic selves, but they don't know the first thing to do. They don't know how to do it and where to go because they know that they're going to face criticism from their family members if all of a sudden they were an engineer professionally and then they want to just go and design boats or do artwork, become an artist. So,
Right, exactly, exactly. And the one of the books that you had mentioned that I did co-author, Dream Big, Do Bigger, I do talk about my childhood dreams that I never pursued as a young child or growing up. And when I was on that self-discovery journey as an adult, I decided, you know what? I love to read, I love to write. What stopped me when I was a young child from actually pursuing it? I had limiting beliefs. I didn't think worthy of myself. I thought everybody else was better than me. Who would want to listen to me through my words and through my voice and through my message? And now I decided to just go for it. You know, it was never too late. My childhood dream ended up being fulfilled. I became an author, and it was an unbelievable experience just going through that. And it was an enlightening experience because I finally broke free from my self-doubt, from my limiting beliefs. And sometimes it is childhood trauma. Sometimes it is how you were raised. Some
yeah,
some type of trauma you had as an adult as well. It could it could stem from somebody telling you a negative thought about yourself and then you
yeah,
just took it personally, or it could be a series of events that caused you to end up not being confident. And
yeah,
so now you're in your prime years. Go for it, go for whatever passion that you wanted to do and wanted to be, but something just held you back. And
yeah,
take what I do with my clients is help them realize what did hold them back and what's holding them back now, and separating fact from fiction, meaning their own fact from fiction, and
right,
realizing, okay, I'll be this age either way. Now, do I want to
yeah,
be empowered to do something and be more be more fulfilled in my life at this age? Am I strong enough and being able to really go for it? And strong
mm,
enough meaning mentally and emotionally. And that's what I help
right.
do for people, is to really get that empowerment from them and get that oomph, you know?
I think that's really important because to have someone like you with the skills, you're doing it on several different ways, levels. You're doing it experientially because you've had the experience yourself. You're doing it in terms coaching, so you're doing it from a professional
Yeah.
perspective, and you're doing it from an emotional perspective and a mental perspective. So people can really, really relate to you as a result of
Mhm.
that, as opposed to someone who is talking at them who has not had the experience. That's really different. They sound good, but then they haven't had the experience. It's just like when sometimes when men are desiring to coach women in certain areas. I've looked at some of the things on social media when men are talking to women about how women should feel and think and be. I'm like, but you're not a female. You haven't had that experience. So you're on the outside looking in, and there may be some relevance to what you're saying, but in terms of actually living through it or wearing those shoes, you've not done that. But in your case, you have, so you can speak from a firsthand experience, and it makes it more relatable to people when they are around people like you, because you've had that experience.
Right.
So what what's your demographic in terms of age, if you can give me that, and then um, male, female. Yeah, and I know that you are probably international, and people can get in touch with you via
Absolutely.
Zoom. And that's
Yeah,
one of the advantages of COVID. People now are doing things more online as opposed to in person,
absolutely.
which makes it a lot better, particularly for the global market.
Right, right. Well, my demographic is both men and women, 35 and up, who are professionals and who've had experience already in the workforce as well as families. I do international coaching as well, because I'm a virtual business, and it's more of who has the sense of desire to
Mhm,
really be themselves through their career, through their personal
mhm,
life, and through themselves. And sometimes
mhm,
we feel that we need to be the way others are, and who they want us to be. And
mhm.
I my methodology is using emotional intelligence to really assess you, because we're all trying to get to know us. You know, you
Right,
you
right.
so as you age, you think you know yourself because of the wisdom, because of the experience. But then
Mhm,
a lot of times our experiences cause us to not think of ourselves because we're thinking of
yeah,
others. And
yeah,
when you take a step back and you try to figure out who you really are, and I keep saying it because sometimes we don't know who we are because
yeah,
we're other personas to other people. And
yeah.
looking at yourself, looking at your personality, looking at what your true desires are and your passions, that's the key to really being fulfilled in life.
Yeah, yeah. And sometimes someone like yourself, because I'm a coach as well, can see things, and I know I do this a lot with my clients. I see what they can't see. And I see this untapped reservoir of strength and abilities and assets that they are not aware of, especially if you're female, you've been taught to make yourself small
Right.
and to see yourself in the context of your role as a mom or a worker, whatever, but not encouraged to think outside of the box. So
Mhm.
with you, what's really wonderful is you're able to tap into that untapped reservoir of energy within them to help bring it out, because people have often said to me, I didn't even know that was there. I said, but I see it. I see it. So
Exactly. Exactly. And the people that actually come to me are the ones who are very tired and frustrated with doing it on their own.
yeah,
They've tried to do it on their own. They've done trial and error here and there, and they didn't have the structure. They're just thinking, okay, because this kind of worked, I'll try this strategy when I feel doubtful about
yeah,
myself. But people who do come to me are really frustrated, and they're like, I'm done with being done.
yeah,
Help me figure out, get a different perspective and have a structure, to actually figure out my my limiting beliefs, how to let go of my limiting beliefs, how to sustain that confidence and how to build that confidence slowly, because it is a transformation. It's not,
mhm,
it's a marathon. It's not a quick hit. And
yeah,
a lot of times we won't see those negative patterns for a while until we really assess ourselves and kind of figure that out. So having some guidance in figuring that out will totally help you sustain that ability to be more confident. And as you build that confidence because of that mentorship, because of that self-assessment, it is more sustainable because you'll have the tools to figure out when you feel this way, when you think this way about yourself, you'll have that ability to shift your mindset with certain tools and strategies so you can bounce back faster and you won't
Mm-hmm.
be in that bottom of the hill much longer.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that's my goal, is to not let them be down there too long. And then when they experience doubt again, try to go back up, using the tools and strategies that I coach them with.
Yeah, that's important too for people to have the metaphoric toolbox so that they can just pull things out of that um, content area and just use them. Because when you have the tools, it's extremely empowering, like our topic was talking about. But when you don't have the tools, that's when people tend to uh, falter and flounder because they don't know what to do. They don't have anything to fall back on.
Mhm.
And they feel frustrated and they feel overwhelmed. So
Right,
I think
right.
it's really wonderful. So the client, you said you have both males and females, and as clients, could you give us a little scenario of a client that may have come? We know that the names are not going to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. I could name a couple. So I did,
yeah, a
I,
scenario.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the scenario. I did have a gentleman who is a very intellectual professional.
Mm-hmm.
Knew what he was doing. He could talk about his expertise for hours. But when he went in front of leadership, executive leadership in his company, he would not be able to speak it more intelligently to what he knows because he had the fear of public speaking. He was
Mm,
afraid that people will laugh at him. He was afraid that the executive leadership will call him out of being a fraud. That's where imposter syndrome comes in. So I was
mhm.
able to help him figure out why he thought that. And we uncovered some trauma that he had as a child of being made fun of. And as
Yeah,
you grow as an adult, you kind of hide that, the way that
yeah,
you cope with it. And you kind of, because we're always taught to be strong, get over it, move on.
yeah,
But
yeah,
always buried, right? And so
yeah,
it comes out, the behavior, the negative behavior does come out in different
yeah,
ways. And so
yeah.
I helped him uncover that for him. And plus, in addition to that, between getting the confidence to really speak out and find his voice, we also helped him with speaking strategies and how to speak better. So he felt more confident and really realized that these executive leadership are people. They're not going to fire him. They're not going, it was just because he had these fears that were sometimes irrational to him.
Mm,
But because
mm,
they were irrational, it prevented him from speaking out his intellect and showing his passion and showing what he knew. So that
yeah,
was one of them. The other client that I had um, is a PhD. And she was in research for many years. And she went through a self-assessment and said, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. I want to go into
mm,
something different. But she had backlash from family and friends to say,
yeah,
you
yeah,
went through all this schooling and you're not going to use your degree. And so
yeah.
she had imposter syndrome because it's like, okay, what am I doing here? Do I listen to everybody else because I have that degree? Do I hold on to that degree? Or
Mm-hmm.
do I follow my dream? And so she had to go through that journey and that self-assessment to say, okay, what do I really want? What should I be letting go? And what should I really accept? So that was another scenario that I had.
Right. That's really good because you're able to help both the male and the female. And what happens, what you said is that is so true. Because I have a coaching program, I tell people, don't get over it, go through it. And usually with masculine energy, they've been programmed to just get over it, push
Yeah.
aside your feelings, they don't matter, focus on the desired outcome, and that's the only thing that matters. And then when they have these events or people that trigger them, they go right back to
Mhm.
the original
Exactly.
emotion that they were trying to suppress.
Right.
And it's a difference between male and female coaching, except if the men have really tapped into the feminine energy, because we have both. But if they're coming straight from the aggressive, just work hard and you do it, keep your head, like you said, how you were raised, keep your head down and just push the pedal to the floor, that will
Mhm.
burn you out. Because
Right.
first of all, what you're doing is you're pushing like this, as opposed to flowing like water. You can
Mhm.
flow like water. So I think your approach is really, really good because it's not pushing.
Right.
It's not
Right. Right. Well,
hammering.
they're going at their own pace. They're,
Yeah,
because they are the ones doing the work. I'm just guiding them. I'm just having
yeah.
them, again, as we talked about, giving them the tool kit to be able to cope with it in a healthier way that's more
Mhm.
sustainable for them to be more successful and fulfilled. But at the same time, they are the ones going through the journey. They're the ones doing the exercises. They're the ones really accepting, they're the ones who's going to be accepting what they can't control, letting that
Right.
go, and then taking action on what they can control. And because naturally we all like control, right? We all want to
Yeah,
stay in
yeah,
control. But sometimes there are factors that we can't control and we have to let that go.
yeah,
A lot of
yeah.
people, especially older people, have been let go from corporate. And sometimes they end up not being able to accept that. But what I tell my clients are, instead of thinking of what you can't control, figure out what you can shine with and lead with
Mhm.
that, instead of using that as a crutch, using your situation as a crutch, use that as
Mhm.
a positive opportunity rather than a negative situation. And
Mhm.
so that's where they can control their destiny through what they can shine as their superpower.
I think that's amazing. Do you contract with HR or are you someone that comes from the outside and you contact HR and then they
Yeah.
bring you in?
Yeah, that's what I do work with HR. I don't work within HR, but I do contract out. I'm considered a vendor.
Okay, okay. So what you do is you go to a company and you write a proposal and you bid
Yes.
and they take it from there.
Yes, yes. But I
Okay.
do take individuals as well, not just corporate clients, but individuals that are just looking on their own to get their own coaching.
Okay. And are most of your clients in corporate?
No, most of my clients are individual.
Oh, they
'Cause,
are. Okay.
yeah, unfortunately, a lot of training budgets have been been limited. So most of my clients have been uh, individual, but I still do go to corporate.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So when people come to you, are they private pay or using insurance? How does that work?
Oh yeah, it's private pay.
Yeah, okay. Okay. So a person who's coming to you typically is dealing with being outsourced or what are the most common topics that you see?
It's all over the place. A lot of professionals come to me because they're either laid off or they're in a situation at work where their role has changed and they're not empowered anymore. They don't like their role anymore.
Mhm,
Others are more individuals that they want to pursue their dreams, their childhood dreams, or even their adulthood dreams, but they have imposter syndrome. They don't know
mhm,
how to get out of it. Some others have health issues as well, and they're trying to cope with it, and they feel that their life is over because they have health
mm,
issues. So I
mm,
help them just get their mindset shifted to say, okay, in spite or despite of your current situation, what can you do that could help you feel fulfilled? So
mm,
I get a lot of clients that are across the board that have different situations, personal and professional, that my programs and my coaching can help them with.
mhm, mm. It's wonderful. That's wonderful. So with the people that you coach, how long have you had your business in
For two
coaching?
years, for 2 years.
For
But
2 years.
but I've been a mentor for at least 10 as a
Okay.
corporate mentor. Yes. So I decided to take the plunge and go start my business because it's like I already have been doing that for a while, and
Right.
wanted to just be able to expand myself and help others in a
Okay.
way.
Okay. So with this, and you came out of corporate and
Mhm.
started your own business. Yeah.
Yes. Well, I'm actually still in corporate. I'm,
Oh, you still
yes,
you still
I'm still in
working?
corporate. Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. And
And
how
so,
did
I'm sorry. And I use my corporate experience as well because I'm a project manager. A lot of the strategies that I give have project management concepts to it. So if you have a
mm,
goal and you have a certain goal that you want, a certain time frame you want to meet, we come up with a plan. And then
mhm,
we have accountability, and we have, just using the concepts that make corporations successful using project management, certain
mhm,
budgets, certain goals. Well, you want the world, but you can only do so much in a certain period of time.
mhm,
I utilize those best practices in addition to my programs to be able to help them meet their goals in a more healthy way, and
mhm,
a realistic way, so they know they're not overdoing it or they're not overshooting their goals.
mhm. Okay. Okay. So are you a subcontractor as a project manager?
Yes.
Okay. So you're not working for one specific company.
No,
You,
no, I'm
yeah.
contracted.
Okay. And so in that way, you're able to get clients as a
Yes.
subcontractor.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's wonderful. I think that's wonderful.
Thank
Have
you.
people come back with success stories that have been clients?
Yes, they have. They have, especially with one of my programs, we do have our last session, kind of like a graduation as to lessons learned and what really empowered them. And on my website, I do have testimonials from them as well, if anybody would love to look at those. But yeah, there are success stories because they're, again, it's transformation, but in the short times that we have together, there's so many breakthroughs that really change their lives, and they wouldn't have done that without guidance. And that's really
Mhm,
the key because we try to do everything on our own, and sometimes we are successful. A lot of times I see a lot of people YouTubing it or doing a lot of research and doing things on our own, which for some people may be great. But other
yeah.
people, they need hand holding, so to speak, because it's like, okay, I'm struggling here. How do I get out of my mind? How do I
Yes.
get out of that?
Linear thinking. Linear thinking. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. And the only way to do that is to have a mentor because they could see things, to your point earlier, they can see, a mentor can see things a little bit from an objective perspective, and they'd be able to kind of say, okay, you may want to take a look at your situation from this angle.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've had, and that's what I love about having my business, Jamila, is listening to these stories, these transformation stories, and the impact
Yeah.
that I had. That's what's driving me. That's my why, because I've been through it, and I wish I had that type of mentorship when I was younger. But as I grew older, I realized I can't do this on my own. I needed help, and
Yeah.
that's why I did get help, and that's why I wanted to pay it forward with folks who are struggling with that, and it will help them be a better person in the end.
I think that's wonderful.
Yeah.
And you're giving them the encouragement, and that's what's really great about people who are 50 plus, because a lot of times when people are not in this demographic, they tend to, as I say, be condescending and a bit arrogant.
Yeah.
And they think because they are younger and we are older that we are not as sharp, which is not true, because people 50 plus are the ones who own the businesses. That's the irony.
Right.
They're the ones who
Right.
own the businesses that these people are working for. But a lot of people in HR are 40 and younger. So that's where the issue comes in, because they have these preconceived ideas and stereotypes about
Mhm.
who we are,
Right.
and they are not accurate, and they don't allow people, in some cases, not in all cases, but they don't allow people to have a second chance
Mhm.
to prove that that they're still viable. So I think
Right.
that's wonderful. And you've had the opportunity to be on a lot of uh, TV programs,
Yes.
NBC, CBS, Fox, you know,
Yes.
the
Yeah.
spotlight. So how did that come about? How were you able to do that?
Oh, networking and just really getting myself out there. The more podcasts and summits and conferences that I spoke at, the more visibility that I got, and I started
Mm.
getting more opportunities. And the topic of this conversation is being your authentic self, and that's what I was.
Yeah.
I was just myself, and posting on social media, just being out there, charged so many opportunities that I never thought that I would have, and
Yeah.
being an author as well really helped. And that opportunity actually started it, being an author and being able to find my voice and
Mm-hmm.
really bring that topic to awareness, especially imposter syndrome. Um, the 50 plus group always face it, and we do it silently because we think that we have to be strong. And looking at it from a different perspective and being able to cope with it is much better. And
Mm-hmm.
knowing what I know, I'm living proof that you can do what you can, with your dreams, because I
Yeah.
wouldn't have gotten those opportunities unless I actually came out and really became empowered and confident in myself
Yeah.
more freely.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you had the fortitude to stick with it and to go forward. And sometimes I said people in this demographic, 50 plus, have the desire, but they don't have the confidence. And what you're doing is so important, because you're empowering them, saying, oh no, you were so successful in the first half of your life. So this is the second half, and you can be just as successful. And now you're being more authentic, because in the second half, you're doing what you choose to do, as opposed to what is being imposed upon you by your
Yes,
family, your culture, whomever. This is your dream now. So
yes.
I think that's a really, really, really great and empowering.
Thank you.
So when you stepped out with this profession, and um, based on your your background and everything, were people, well, you're still working also in corporate America, but did you get the support that you were looking for in
I
terms of, a
am
motivational speaker and some other things? The people that were part of your life prior to your doing it, were they very supportive?
Yes, they were supportive. The way that I brought myself out was the key because I was very forward thinking and knowing this, my sharing my story, family and friends totally supported me because of that.
Mm-hmm.
Now's the time to do it. If there's no other time, it's now.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
actually inspired family and friends as well. And it's so enlightening to see that I became a role model for them.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
it's a profession that's very unique and with a unique skill. And there's a lot of people that want to do it, but they don't feel they can. And I'm doing
Yeah.
it. So I'm living proof that they can do it. So
Yeah.
so the support has been tremendous. And that's one of the reasons why I'm really successful because of the support of family and friends.
Yeah. That's amazing. So I know your son, who's a pilot, is very proud of his mom.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, he's very proud of. So have you had the opportunity to, other than via Zoom and via television media, have you had the opportunity to physically speak globally, make
Uh,
presentation?
no, not globally. Nationally, I have. Within the
Okay.
United States, I have been able to travel out of state to speak at different events.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's amazing. That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Thank you.
Well, what would you like to share with our audience as we wrap this up? First of all, I would like for them to get your information, your contact information.
Yes, absolutely. You can visit me at gailmeriel.com. And through that, I have a few freebies that I can give away, like resources that will help you start your journey to become
Mm-hmm.
very confident. I'm also on social media, Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
and Instagram. Um, and I post very often, and I give a lot of tips and strategies to be confident. And I give thought-provoking uh, thoughts about my experiences and how it relates to confidence and how people can be confident in that particular situation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There.
Yeah. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And so do you have a YouTube channel?
No, I don't. I'm still a solopreneur with a very small team of interns when I can. So I don't have that option yet to scale out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Plus, you're still working too, so
Yes.
that's a lot.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
eventually I will. Eventually I will. So, keep following me and eventually it'll come.
Yeah, yeah. But you did an amazing job because to be working practically full time and to do this also,
Yeah.
that is it's a bit much. It's a bit much.
It is. And as a project manager, it became pretty routine for me because I'm able to compartmentalize my time. It's like when I'm
Okay.
at my corporate job, I'm focused 100%. When I'm a mom, I'm focused 100%. When I'm a wife, I'm focused 100%. And
Yeah,
the same thing with being having a business. I focus 100% on my business when I need to. So it's more
yeah.
of compartmentalizing time and being able to set time for myself. So I
Mm-hmm.
can be that to
Mm-hmm.
have the strength. And that's why I'm taking the learnings that I had through my journey to say, okay, I have to set some boundaries. I can't say
Mm-hmm.
yes to everybody.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's very true.
Yeah.
Very, very, very true. You cannot say yes to everyone. Very true.
Right.
So the takeaways, what are some takeaways that you would like to leave with the audience?
Continuously soul search.
Mm-hmm.
Find a mentor or a circle of friends that will lift you up. And as
Yeah,
we talked about earlier, help you through those challenging times, help you and help you celebrate those milestones in your own journey.
yeah.
Don't let anyone else define you. Don't let anything define you. And
Mm-hmm.
that's really the key.
Mm. I love it, Gail. I
You.
love it. I love it. It's been such an honor to have you on our podcast to show
Jamila,
people how they can become empowered on the second journey and how they can build up their confidence, especially in the area of motivational speaking,
Mhm.
because that takes a lot of courage and takes a lot of stamina and a lot of
Exactly.
confidence. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. And because especially if you're talking to people in corporate America who have these linear ways of looking at things, and you're the new kid on the block and you're getting it in front of them, like you said, one of your clients did, and you're hearing all of that negative chatter in your own head from you,
Hmm.
from childhood, from friends or whatever, and you get up in front of them and you black out because
Right.
talking to
Exactly.
them, you're like, okay, okay. So having a coach, having someone like you who can rehearse with them prior to getting up in front of people and just deal with the negative things that may have stopped them from pursuing whatever their dream is in the past. But
Right.
having you coach them and go over these things and rehearse with them and get all of those little naysayers, which are basically us, out of your head. Because
Yes.
most of the time it's not even other people, it's us doing the negative thinking.
Right.
Get that
Right.
out of, yeah, we're our number one critic. Number one critic usually is
Yes.
us. So
Yeah.
once we can calm that critic down and having someone like you, because sometimes we don't even see the negative thoughts that
Right.
we're verbalizing. We don't hear them. We just don't. We're not in touch with them. But having
Right.
someone like you to say, well, maybe we need to investigate why you said that and why you think that. And people are like, oh, okay, okay. So your role is so important. And I'm really very happy and pleased that you are able to work with people with 50 plus and you have the compassion, the vision, and the insight to show them how to get to the next level and
Yes.
how not to settle and to start over. This is a new beginning. Whatever they decide to do, it doesn't have to be motivational speaking. It could be anything. It could be a
Anything.
hobby, a
Right.
hobby that they never gave themselves permission to do because they
Exactly.
were validated by
Exactly.
people in their sphere to do so. So thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me here, Jamila. This was so much fun.
It was a lot of fun, Gail. And for all of you, please get in touch with Gail again. Gail, give them your social handles again.
Okay. GailMeriel.com is my website, but I'm also on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram.
Okay. Can you spell your last name for
Yes.
people?
Meriel.
Okay. So definitely get in touch with her ASAP. You'll be very pleased. She has a lot of wonderful things on her Facebook page and everything that she talked about in terms of the places where she's been, in terms of CBS, NBC, Fox, and those other places are on her website, on her Facebook page. And I'm sure they're on her website. So definitely get in touch with us. So Gray Lives on the Rise, we are happy to see you with this podcast. Thank you for joining us. And
Thank
until next time, be well and tell others. Click on our YouTube uh, channel, click on our YouTube channel, like it, and tell others about it. Right? Until next time, namaste. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Gray Lives on the Rise, being brought to you by Jamila Sense, which is the product line of Oyende Enterprises. Jamila Sense is a 100% natural aromatherapy line that heals the mind, body, and soul. This episode of Great Lives on the Rise was intended to uplift you, to inspire you, and to motivate you. Please tell all of your friends, family members, and anyone you know who's 50 plus, who's living a vibrant life and interested in doing more and enjoying life even to its fullest. So thank you, and please subscribe, like, and comment on this video and all our videos. Thank you, and until next time, until our next podcast, namaste and be well.